North Carolina has been sued for its anti-LGBT law that was recently passed during a special session and signed by the governor. Now, 3 individuals and 2 LGBT organizations have decided to sue, and early Monday morning they filed a lawsuit in federal court challenging the recently passed North Carolina law that nullified local LGBT rights ordinances by singling out LGBT people for disfavored treatment and explicitly writing discrimination against transgender people into state law. HB 2 violates the most basic guarantees of equal treatment and the U.S. Constitution. So that's what the lawsuit says. I think that this lawsuit makes all the sense in the world. And for those who might have missed our initial report on this story, essentially what happened is Charlotte had decided to pass certain protections for transgender individuals living in that municipality. They wanted to ensure that people could use the restrooms that they identified with. But state lawmakers got involved and decided, no. We want to call a special session, spend $42,000 a day to make sure that Charlotte cannot do that, to make sure that they can't offer protections for groups that have not been specified in state law. So that's exactly what this is about. We'll see how the lawsuit goes, but I think that they have a pretty good case.
It's pretty ironic, by the way, that the way that they're trying to fight back is to say you can't protect anyone who's not already protected, when many of those same Republicans hate that those groups are protected. Like, they're using a law that they would love to overturn in a lot of cases to stop new people from being protected. And I mean, at the time you talked about how this is like the most anti-trans law that's passed. The level of fear of people that you're never, if Charlotte's law became nationwide, you're probably never going to even know that you shared a bathroom with someone that was trans. It will never affect your life.
So I never really thought about this, or at least thought about it in this context. But let's say you're dealing with a trans woman, right? Or a trans man, I should say. So someone who was born a woman but now identifies as a man and looks like a man, okay? So that person now has to use the restroom based on what's on the certificate, birth certificate.
Biological.
Right. So if I'm a woman in a woman's bathroom and then all of a sudden someone comes in and this person appears to be a man, wouldn't that make people feel uncomfortable? Or, I mean, it wouldn't make me feel that uncomfortable, to be honest with you, but wouldn't that like pose some concern for some people? Like, it's really interesting how they've decided that what you've been born as is more important than what you identify as or what you look like.
Yeah, and look, all of this could be avoided theoretically if we switched over to unisex bathrooms.
Thank you.
I would not be pushing for that absent all of this. This isn't an issue that I had to think about growing up. It's sort of thrust on you when Republicans in a knee-jerk way say, no, we need to be protected from these people. I don't even know how this came up to them. And look, unisex bathrooms exist in a lot of places.
They do.
It apparently works. Apparently that doesn't make people uncomfortable.
But that's the thing. Okay, so unisex bathrooms do exist. There are unisex bathrooms at YouTube Space LA. Like, that's always
true.
That's always the example that comes to mind whenever we have these discussions. And I mean, I've been in those bathrooms several times. I've never seen any hanky-panky or uncomfortable.
You've never just stood ogling someone as they're peeing?
It just doesn't work that way, right? And so this whole idea of making the transgender community out to be these predators who are lying about their identity just so they can use the wrong bathroom is ridiculous. And the fact that they wasted taxpayer money to call a special session in order to ensure that people can continue to discriminate against the LGBT community is ludicrous.
Yeah, and look, I think that at the end of the day, while some of these Republicans, I'm hesitant to say that they're not actually as scared of something as they say, because these are people who are very scared of a lot of things. This is not primarily about bathrooms. This is about enshrining into the law as much restriction on this group as you can while you still can. Because I think that they're picking up that as they lose more and more of their anti-gay laws, and as those get struck down as unconstitutional, as society embraces the LGBT community, they know that they're going to lose in the long run. And so you've got to get stuff into the law now to try to hold out as long as you can. And it's a sad final legacy for a lot of these politicians.
It absolutely is.